What's up, you magnificent nerds? Welcome back to Monday Monster Madness. And holy shit, do I have a treat for you today. Or should I say, a threat. We're diving into the darkest corners of my brain as usual to dredge up a monster that'll make you think twice before pouring that morning bowl of cereal. Today, we face the serial killer. Yeah, I know that the name is awful, but sometimes at 3 a.m., fueled by caffeine and existential dread, you look at your empty bowl of cereal and think, what if that became a murderous tiny swarm of rage? And that, my friends, is how we ended up here. We're not just making monsters, we're manifesting our deepest, most absurd fears. And apparently, I have some serious issues with breakfast. And before you ask, yes, this is a challenge rating 5, because nothing screams good morning like a medium-level threat to your very existence. Alright, let's go ruin breakfast for everyone. This is gonna be a blast. Alright, let's get into the delicious and terrifying details. First off, we're looking at a medium swarm of tiny constructs. Picture this. Every single piece of cereal in your bowl suddenly gaining sentience and a burning desire to dismantle your face. We're talking a horde of little crunchy vengeance-seeking robots. This bad boy has an armor rating of 15. Why? Because have you ever tried to catch a single Cheerio that's rolling across the kitchen floor? Those slippery little bastards are basically ninjas. 85 hit points means this isn't just a quick snack. It's got the staying power of a toddler who's just discovered way too much sugar. Now look at this. Dexterity and Constitution at 18 each. Why? Because this thing needs to be nimble enough to dodge your attacks and tough enough to maintain its form while swimming in milk. Oh yeah, we're absolutely getting into milk mechanics. This isn't some flimsy construct. It's a milky murder machine. But my absolute favorite part of this has to be the skills. Stealth +7. Just picture this. Your adventurers saunter into a peaceful tavern, order some breakfast, and completely fail to notice their cereal slowly creeping across the table, plotting their demise. That's the kind of that keeps me up at night. The saving throws are also pretty solid. Dex and Con are at +7. This means you better hope you have good saves, because this isn't going down without a fight. The perception is a +3, because it has to see you before it tries to eat you. And it has a decent passive perception of 13, which means it can see you when you're trying to avoid it. Alright, let's talk about the core mechanics of what makes this monster tick. First up, we're talking a swarm of 50 to 100 of those tiny little cereal golems. Each is like a little miniature construct with a serious grudge. They can squeeze through any opening big enough for a single piece of cereal. Yeah, you should probably check underneath your floorboards or under your doors. Just sleep tight knowing all that. And here's where things get really fun. They're resistant to bludgeoning and piercing damage. Why? Because seriously, have you ever tried to crush dry cereal with the back of a spoon? It just scatters everywhere. It's a mess. You can't use a weapon for killing this, so what do? Well, it has fire vulnerability, specifically because of boiling milk. Sometimes the most brilliant monster designs just comes from thinking through the silly tiny little details. But the real kicker is their milk dependency. Now this is why boiling the milk hurts them. These little breakfast terrorists need milk to maintain their animated form. It's like their unholy lifeblood. It keeps their tiny construct souls together. Take away the milk, and they just become ordinary cereal again. Which means, yes, technically you could defeat this monster by eating it. But, and let me tell you this clearly, I really, really do not recommend you do that. Just sounds like a miserable time to me. The other thing that is kind of special is the fact that its attacks are magical for the purpose of getting around resistances and immunities. Which is great, because it's already a nasty little... Now for the best part. How does this murderous breakfast actually kill you? First, we have the Sugary Claws attack. a +7 to hit, 14 slashing damage. Picture the super sharp edge of Captain Crunch cereal. Those beautiful mouth-destroying corners. But now, intentionally weaponized. Just imagine a swarm of those little bastards raking across your skin. That's gotta hurt like hell. And because I want to bring the pain, it has multi-attack. 2 sugary claw attacks per action. That's a potential 28 damage per round from breakfast. I can literally feel the pain in my own mouth. It's a terrifying thought. But hey, that's what makes a good monster, right? But the highlight, the main event, the breakfast barrage. A 30-foot cone attack that deals 27 piercing damage. I literally designed this while thinking about the sheer agony of that Captain Crunch earlier. A DC 15 dex save to avoid getting hit by a flurry of sharp, weaponized breakfast. And it recharges on a 5 and a 6. This thing is going to be a real threat in combat. Yeah, you really need to look out for the 5 and 6 recharge. This guy's coming at you with it often. And you'll not have a good time. You will really need to strategize for this one if you see it coming at all. Alright, DMs, let me share the ways I've come up with to use this beautiful abomination. First off, classic morning ambush. Your party's at an inn. Everything seems calm and peaceful. Then BAM! Breakfast Fight Club. The kitchen is now your dungeon. Here's one that I'm pretty proud of. The serial killer. Oh yeah, I went there. A series of mysterious deaths, all happening at breakfast. The only clues? Colorful crumbs and suspiciously empty milk jugs. Is it an evil wizard mass-producing this shit? Maybe. Or it could just be one bowl of cereal that's gotten really persistent, making its way across the countryside and murdering anyone who dares to eat within 50 miles of it. Oh, and here's a fun one. What if the local milk supply becomes cursed? Now every bowl of cereal in town is a potential death trap. Watch as your players panic and try to stop everyday breakfast from becoming a TPK. This one is really fun because it turns a mundane thing into an absolute horror show. You could even expand it beyond the bowl and make a bigger, more complex creature. A giant cereal golem maybe. Made of all sorts of cereal stuck together with milk. The sky really is the limit with how far you want to take this. Look, I know this monster is absolutely ludicrous, but that's why I love it. D&D is about having fun, and sometimes that means facing the terror of breakfast. If you want the full stat block and all the other demented shit that percolates in my brain at 3 a.m., head on over to my Patreon at patreon.com/critsandgiggles. There's a link in the description, as well as a full stat block for this delicious terror on my Patreon. That's where the real magic happens. And since I haven't actually seen anyone try fighting this thing yet, please let me know how it goes if you use it in your games. I'm dying to know if this is as deadly as I imagine. I've yet to see my horrible creation in action, so that about wraps it up for this week. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Tell everyone about it. You know the drill. Next week... Oh, you guys are not ready for this one. Well, it's going to be intense. See you then, you beautiful f***ing nerds.